Well, good evening. It is Tuesday night, so you know what that means. It is oNiD Racing, the home of GT4 racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I don't know why none of us can say that without sounding Italian, or trying to at least. I'm Adam D, bringing you the live coverage once again of the simrace247.com British GT4 series. This is round 4 from Oulton Park, and I'm quite chuffed tonight because last week I rode solo and it was quite tough because there was battles everywhere. Now obviously I enjoy that, but oh my god, by the end of it I was absolutely knackered. So I'm really pleased to say that I'm not on my own tonight. And not only that, but I have been joined by the legend that is Cammy Sturch. Good evening, Cammy.
Hello, I'm back by popular demand. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Well, apart from the smashed up foot. But apart from that, I'm absolutely superb, and thank you very much for giving up your evening to come and watch some GT4s run around Oulton Park.
You're very welcome. This is all new to me. I've not seen GT4 racing in Assetto Corsa Competizione, so yeah, really looking forward to this.
It has to be done, doesn't it?
For me.
It has to be. Why can't any of us just say Competizione? We can't do it.
Or translate it to English. Well, what would Assetto Corsa be in English?
Oh, I did look this up a little while ago, and I can't remember what it is now. But obviously, I assume Competizione is competition.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look up what Assetto Corsa actually means now. We'll get there. Hello, by the way, to a couple of you in the chat already. Mr. Hiker van der Veen with his hello, good evening, and welcome. And then we have Alex Shahabi joining us in chat as well. And number one, Assetto Corsa means race trim, apparently. But I am loving your Twitch chat name, Big Smelly. It's like you know me. Welcome, Big Smelly. That's a great name.
Yeah, I got the translation up first as Trim Race, and I was thinking, what? But I didn't put this one-on-one together to say race trim, but
yeah,
so, it's not as sexy if you were to go race trim competition.
What accent was that?
I think that was a bit of Welsh, Belgian, not Brummy. Why did I say Belgian?
Belgian? Well,
yeah, certainly not Belgian.
It begins with B, I suppose. It almost sounded a little tiny bit Stokey. That did. That was quite impressive.
Competition.
If you had, that was more Brummy. That was definitely more Brummy. But if you had chucked the word duck on the end of it, it definitely would have been Stokey. Anyway, I fear we might be waffling somewhat, and there are some cars heading out on track. We are towards the end of the free practice session, and I predict, not a riot, but I predict some pretty close stuff tonight. We know the championship situation is that Ben Brown is sort of healthily in the lead after his 3 wins out of 3 in races 1, 2 and 3. And we know that Alex Shahabi's got a bit of catching up to do because he missed the first 2 races. But I got a feeling that Alex is going to do pretty well tonight. I think that the Merc will suit round here. Ian Hall might have a tougher night. Not sure the BMW is particularly suited to Oulton Park, but he took his first win last time out. Anything could happen tonight, but I predict those 3 are going to be all over each other like a rash tonight. And Cammy, it's pretty difficult for you to predict anything because you've not seen these guys race before, right?
No, only some of the handful of them from the GT3 series. Obviously, Ben Brown, Alex Shahabi, Petr Jelinek, Dave Shalecki. So how much can I rely on their performance in GT3 as to inform me how well they'll do in GT4? Is it a skill that translates over sort of directly?
Somewhat, I would say. Somewhat, yes. If somebody's quick, then they're quick. And Alex Shahabi, a good example of that. But there are some folk who are quicker in a GT4 than they are a GT3. And Ben Brown probably slips into that category, actually. He's had a really good season so far in this GT4 league. So let's see how he gets on tonight. But look, the last time you and I were on mics together was Oulton Park, and here we are again.
Here we are again in slightly more favourable conditions at the moment, it looks like. I don't know if that will change come for the race.
Yeah, at the moment. So the conditions are variable tonight, so we'll have to see as it jumps into each session what the forecast predicts. But I'm reasonably hopeful we might have a fairly dry night. It is at least daytime, this one, so that might help them a little bit, even if the rain does come down.
Yeah, these races, 2 25-minute races, they're much more sprints than the marathons we have in GT3, where they're 45-minute races, and sort of going to the Laguna Seca next weekend, 90 minutes.
Oh, yes, yeah. By the way, great stream from you guys on Sunday night. Really enjoyed that. I thought it was nice for you to have Chris along with you, but what a race that you guys got to follow around Bathurst. So great job from the pair of you on that one, and look forward to more of it on Sunday as the World Series heads stateside.
Oh, thank you very much. I did personally miss you. I did petition to have you sort of as the third commentator, sort of taking the Ted Kravitz role and letting Dan just focus on the cameras, but I don't know if that got passed on to you.
Yeah, it sort of got to the point where I thought, 3 or 4 voices might get a little challenging, because I find it difficult to keep myself quiet a lot of the times.
I know, I'm the same, and I think 2 is great for a back and forth. 3, you sort of get in a third wheel, aren't you? As it looks like we're just coming to the end of the free practice session.
We are, and those 3 at the top. Well, in fact, oh, hang on, Andy Thorpe's third, so maybe Andy's in the mix tonight as well. So
yeah, a couple of BMWs up there, and you weren't favouring them.
No, but those guys are super quick. So I think they can. I mean, Ian Hall took a really, really convincing win last time out at Donington. So for him to be 4th now might be a little bit below where he would hope. But we'll see. Look, I'm just going to jump back into the chat, because we've got a few more people with us that want to say hello. Ducky plays games. Yes, I did say the word duck, but I said it the Stokey way. I said duck.
Eop me duck.
Eop duck. So I don't know whether your Ducky plays games because you are a Stokey yourself, or whether you just like ducks. But it would appear that Ducky and Big Smelly know each other. So,
well, see, I don't know all that lingo, because I'm a soft southerner here.
Well, so am I originally, but yeah, then I went and moved to an area of the world where I could afford to buy a house.
Yeah, I need to do that soon. I've got to sort of immigrate up north for exactly the same reason.
Regal Racing are in tonight. Welcome, Regal. No doubt cheering on your man there, Mr. Shahabi. Who else we got with us tonight? Well, Ducky says, if it doesn't rain, is it even British? Based on the weather we've had this week, no. I mean, frankly, all the trees should be lying down on their sides as well, but never mind. Prismatic are here. No doubt they've heard that you're here, so coming along to cheer you on, Cammy. But they've also said, good evening, Mr. Oh No I Died Racing. How are you this fine evening? I'm good.
I hope we see Prismatic in the oNiD series racing at some point, because they've got a diverse range of drivers of differing skill levels, and they're just celebrating they're getting the first transgender driver into the iRacing NASCAR esports event.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah,
I don't know the actual proper name of it, but of course NASCAR officially sanction it, don't they?
That's the Coca-Cola sponsored one as well. I think it's quite a big deal, that one. So
they'll probably correct me in the chat, but
who wants to correct Cammy? She's got it right. It's fine. It's fine. Ducky Plays Game says it's Ducky because programming. If you know, you know. Well, I don't, so I don't. But thank you for clarifying. And also, I see that I Like to Race has joined us. Now, I don't know if you've come across this site yet, Cammy. ILTR. It's effectively a brand new social media community focused entirely around sim racing. I fell across it on Twitter and joined up and put a sim stuff page up there and all that kind of stuff, and got chatting with some of the guys behind it. I've also noticed that Ian Hall, one of the drivers tonight, has got an ILTR logo on the side of his BMW, so it's well worth taking a look at. You can find them on Twitter and it will give you the link and everything, and go take a look. Have you seen it before?
No, I've just Googled it and it's come up with something rather different.
Yeah, okay. So maybe go onto Twitter first and take a look up I Like to Race. They're on there.
Okay. It comes up as indefinite leave to remain in the UK.
Thank God it was that kind of thing and not something else. Not a Jeremy Clarkson, I went on the internet and I saw this moment.
What's it called? I like or I love to race?
I like to race. That's true.
I think I'm going to have to set up
I love
to race.
Yeah.
Just to trump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop them a follow. Black and yellow logo.
Yeah, absolutely. But take a look at the website when you get a chance as well. It's all good. So basically is iliketorace.com. It couldn't be much simpler than that. Thank you for clarifying. I'm assuming that's Alex in the chat, so welcome along to oNiD. And Prismatic have said it's eNASCAR College Series. It's the first time an openly transgender driver has made it onto a NASCAR sanctioned sim racing event. Well, congrats to you guys, and keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
The first laps are starting to come in, and it's Alex Shahabi who gets the first lap in 1:43.2. We'll see how good or bad that is any moment now. It's a good lap. Everybody else is half a second or a second down, a second and a half there from Chaitel. Yeah,
and actually Ben's significantly off to start off with. I mean, it may just have been a bit of a warm-up lap. Because one of the things with GT4 cars that you're probably not familiar with, seeing as you've not raced them before, is they don't have tyre warmers. So it does take, even in qualifying, a couple of laps to get up to temps and pressures. So that's one of the tricky things about driving these cars.
And that's something soon that's going to come to Formula 1, isn't it? That they're not going to have tyre warmers anymore. So these drivers have to work extra hard on their outlap, either sort of hard braking, getting the brakes hot and sort of transferring that heat through the wheel, or your good old classic sort of weaving left and right to get heat into the tyres. As more times coming up now, Johnny Ashley is in 9th place in the Chevrolet, and it's great to see a real variation of GT4 cars from brands I didn't expect, because I've not seen a GT4 simulator where you can have the Ginetta. You know, I see the Ginetta all the time at Brands Hatch. They're gorgeous cars.
Yeah, and it is it's an old car as well, compared to everything else in the series, but it's a fun one. And actually the last, as Alex Shahabi goes faster again, by the way, 142.8. The last championship that we had in GT4 was a single spec Ginetta championship, and that was absolutely banging. That was back in the days when I still had 2 working feet, and I was able to drive in that, and we just slid those things around all series. It was absolutely fantastic. As Ian Hall goes second, just a 10th off of Shahabi now, so things closing up. Yeah, Ginetta single make, oof, that's where it's at.
Well, there's a reason why so many drivers they start in karts, and very often their first taste of sort of real car racing is in the Ginetta series. They use the smaller Ginettas. I'm trying to think of the name. Is it like the S80? I'll have to quickly Google that as I'm doing it. The G40,
G40,
and then they move up to the bigger GT4 cars, which is the one that's in Assetto Corsa Competizione. That I have.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept that.
What's that?
Have another go.
Oh, sorry. Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Yeah, that's better. I'll accept that. Thank you.
Team race competition.
Or just ACC. Whatever you prefer. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with late 80s, early 90s British Touring Car Championship liveries, but check that bad boy out.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only part of BTCC history I am familiar with, actually. I think I went off it when, was it in the early 2000s? The touring car series just became essentially the Vauxhall Astra racing series for a while.
Yeah, when Super Tourers disappeared and all that kind of stuff. But this Listerine Amiga livery is just fantastic. Andy Thorpe's done a great job with this. Well, I don't know whether it's him or whether it's...
Not with that corner.
No, I think he's decided to park it. He's got within 4/10 of pole now, but what is happening with Ben Brown? He hasn't seemingly strung together the kind of lap that you would expect as yet.
No, it's quite unusual from Ben. He is generally a consistent front runner. He's fantastic driving, makes some great overtakes. Maybe it's just a case that he is more of a race person than a qualifying person. It's very different to string one lap together compared to having a race of 20 laps and sort of making slipstreamings and overtakes and such. And was that a crossbow expo in front of him there?
Yes, there is a KTM in here. It is Heike van der Veen in the tin box. Here it is. Now this thing is... I
mean, it looks fantastic.
It's a tricky... Well, until you get to the back, and then it's just a box.
You sort of cut it off. That was like, they made the car too long, and they're like, oh, that's the length limit. Better just trim it there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the one thing I will say is that this machine is an absolute weapon if it rains. It is an absolute weapon in the wet. So Heike will be hoping that the heavens open, but he is currently am pole. So Heike just as I say that, Stefan Locker goes and takes provisional pole in am. But you'll notice, similar to the GT3 series, Cammy, we've got 3 classes tonight.
But they don't have their own qualifying slots, do they?
No. In the GT4s, it's a shorter qualifying session, and it's a shorter format altogether. We've got 2 30-minute sprint races tonight, which is always great fun because you get that reset in the middle, and anything could happen tonight, and generally does.
But it feels like your evaluation races must have gone well, and you sort of got the classes sorted out perfectly, because at the moment none of the classes are mixing except for Gould, who hasn't put in a lap in yet.
You will have just made William Black the happiest man in the world, because it's his crazy spreadsheets that takes all the information from the evaluation races and puts people into their relevant classes.
Is there something? Has he got a flat tyre there? Something flapping from his rear left wheel?
It might just be a little bit of ACC things. Like, do you remember we saw at was it Monza, where there was the flappy rear tyre on the Merc?
Oh, that was in like one of the introduction videos, wasn't it? And it looked like the wheel was coming off the rim slightly. No, this was flapping like, I thought that was how the game portrayed a puncture or something, but he's driving along absolutely fine, so I don't think he has got a puncture.
No, but it's an interesting point, because punctures are a thing around Oulton Park and in GT4s. But not necessarily punctures, but pressure loss is quite a big thing, because the curbs are vicious here and you start on cold tyres. So it's really easy to get pressure losses, especially in GT4s around here. So keep your eye out for people who may struggle with that later on in the race. Dan Hyde, your mate, getting himself pretty close to Johnny Ashley, but not quite getting ahead of him as yet in the Soldier Netta in the field.
Yeah, I know at Donington Park he had a bit of a rough time of it. Was it Gould who went into the back of him at the chicane down into like the Melbourne hairpin, sort of getting him sideways, and then he was sort of pushed out the way by somebody else, and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, although Dan did his fair share of incident creation, shall we call it? So
I'm not holding this, but I've raced alongside Dan in a different series, and I always, when people ask me how is it to, is Dan good? How is it to race Dan? I always have to joke and say, I actually never saw him. We were at separate ends of the grid generally. I never had any problem overtaking him because there was generally a blue flag to sort that out. But
Yeah, where you have to be more worried with Dan is if he's directly behind you going into a braking zone. That's when it gets concerning.
I mean, I would like, I want to be able to race him again and say we're good friends and I sponsor the Casual Apex team and sort of the company logo of Go for the Gap is on the rooftop. So,
well, okay, Cammy,
so I want to get more involved.
Cammy, I'm gonna say, right?
Oh, yeah.
Until I got into the whole Twittery thing recently, I didn't realise just what you do with Go for the Gap. As Dan Hyde does go faster than Johnny now, but I have to say, it's incredible the work that you do. It's absolutely fantastic. So go on, give your brand a plug and tell people where they can go get it.
Well, thank you very much. Well, yeah, I used to work in a video game studio as an animator. That closed down when the game contract ended. I went freelance. I'll turn my creative skills to motorsports and racing esports. I have an Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/Go for the Gap, where I sell a host of sort of graphic illustrative prints of Formula 1 cars, GT3 cars. It's just me doing the art at the moment, and if I've got other work on, I can't do the illustration work, but I try to cover what I can. Some people will request or commission me to do certain types of work, which can then go on the store with sort of their consent, their agreement. And other than that, it's Go for the Gap has branched into a sort of motorsport, esport branding agency where people can come to me and say, look, I need a racing logo, I need a livery, I need some sort of team identity, where a London agency would charge quite a lot for that, but a London agency would generally hand it off. They would take, 50,000 from a company to do this.
And then pay you 25 quid to do it.
They'll hand it down to a small studio in, the Kent coast for 10,000. And then that 5-person company will pay their graphic designer £1,500 a month to do it. So I think, well, I might as well just do it directly. And I've been really privileged. I'm doing work with the ERA Championship, which is the Electric Racing Academy that will follow the ETCR. I'm doing some work with David Perel of SimGrid, which is sort of, wonder if I should mention a rival sort of esports series.
No, it's fine.
I've worked with Charlie Martin and Richard Morris, who were in the Brit Car series. Jimmy Broadbent, I've done some work for him.
You've done some W series stuff as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had a couple drivers commission me for some. They wanted, when lockdown came about, they wanted some, you get the graphic overlays for streaming. So you've got your game in the screen, and then, it's all pretty with your webcam showing in the bottom right corner. Alice Powell wanted some of that. Sarah Moore did an illustration for Sarah Moore. She was the first LGBT winner of sort of a F1 affiliated event, because W Series followed Formula 1 to the Red Bull Ring. Well, that might have been the Spielberg Grand Prix then.
You did some Abby Eaton stuff as well recently as well, I think, didn't you?
Yes, I wanted to raise a bit of money I'd missed Abby Eaton's GoFundMe because she's seriously injured herself going over one of those sausage curbs in the Circuit of the Americas, I think.
I thought it was the crash that she was involved in at Spa at Eau Rouge when there was.
I thought it was as well.
Yeah.
And then somebody corrected me. Well, I remembered as well. I was like, oh yeah, it was a Circuit of the Americas, because she smacked a curb.
Jeez.
And it, much like there was a chap in Formula 3 at Monza, wasn't it? He went round wide on the parabolic and it launched him. So it was like that, except she just got a shock up her spine and it did her neck in.
Yeah, Ducky confirms, Abby broke her spine on the sausage curb at Kota. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Did a print for her and she was elated, and I said, look, I'll donate some of the donations to you, so some of the profit to you. And she said, look, don't worry, I've got enough money now. And, and I said, well, okay, maybe I could give some of the money to Racing Pride, that I'm an esports ambassador for and Abby Eaton is a driver ambassador for. And they said, look, Cammy, you need the money more than we do, so I'm just planning on giving it to a charity.
Oh.
But we're going to give away signed prints as well. Get some signed prints out there, and they'll be sold on the Etsy store as well, signed by Abby Eaton.
Fantastic. Well, just so you know, a couple of guys in the chat have been taking a look whilst we've been talking, and Ducky Plays Game says, checking out Go for the Gap now. I want that Monaco McLaren print. Well, you know what to do. Stick it in your basket. Get it bought. Big Smelly says, prints are looking solid. Prismatic tried to share the link, but yeah, unfortunately Twitch things, that's not going to work. Dan doesn't care. He just says, I'm not last in class, and he's very happy about that. Yeah, and then I think you've just tried to share the link, but it didn't work as well, right?
It didn't tell me it didn't correct me or anything like that, so I assumed it had gone through. But etsy.com/shop/go for the gap. Generally, if you just ask me nicely and go, can I have a discount code? I'll give you one. I just can't remember what the discount codes are at the moment.
Fantastic. Right.
I'll do one for oNiD Racing. oNiD Racing 10. There, I'll put that in.
Fantastic. Check that one out, guys. oNiD Racing 10. For all of that kind of stuff. Right. Now, not wanting to break into that, but we have got some racing going on.
Yes, I've tried to summarise it quickly there. Sorry.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. So this is your grid. Alex Shahabi takes it from Ian Hall, then Andy Thorpe, Ben Brown in 4th. So that's our championship leader down in 4th. Then it's Grant Eckett, Petr Jelinek, Dave Zalecki, Marek Chittil, William Black, Hakan Anderson, Rob Jacks, Dan Hyde, Johnny Ashley, Stefan Locker, Eric Sarek, Heisenberg Knox, Heike van der Veen, and Casey Gould didn't get a lap in. Now, we have a featured driver this evening, which is Johnny the Superstar Ashley. How did your qualifying go, Johnny?
Well, I got out-qualified by Dan, so pretty poor.
You're not last in class, though.
Well, no, but the other guy didn't put a lap in, so...
It's not your fault, though, is it? So so take that and party. How are you going to get on in the race? Is it a better race car than it is a quali car?
Yeah, and generally the longer races I'm better at, so 45 minutes with a pit stop.
Oh, of course, tonight's the 45 with a pit stop. It's not two 30-minute races, it's the 45 with a pit stop, yes.
So, yeah, I'm usually quite good with that, so if I can just keep it consistent and steady throughout the race and keep out of trouble, I should be able to make a couple of places up, I hope.
Excellent. Well, we'll drop into you during the race. Heisenberg Knox hasn't done the old ready up thing, so he will be starting from the pits. And these guys are heading off on their formation lap. So, Cammy, I'm gonna ask you, even though you've not seen these guys much before, who's going to take the overall win tonight in this 45-minute race with one pit stop?
Ooh, I'll put my money on Ben Brown. I've raced with him. I like him. He's helped me out with some graphics and livery work when I've been sort of overloaded. I want to see him do well, because if Ben does well, then in my head I think, well, I came second to him in the other series. So if he wins this, then in my head I think, well, if I competed, I'd probably be right there behind him.
Fantastic. I am going to go with... I think it's a Shahabi night tonight. I said that before whilst we were in practice, and Johnny will affirm that one. I just got a sneaky suspicion that Alex is going to have a good night tonight. Bo Lambert says that Andy Thorpe's going to do good in the overall. He could do. He's right up there. BMWs look stronger than I suggested. Willie Black saying good luck to everyone as well. Alex from I Like to Race says he's going to support Ian. Now, I wonder why. Could it have anything to do with the ILTR logo on the side of his car, which you're about to see right there? But before we get going, it's time for you guys to see the intro to the GT4 series, and then we will go live as soon as we're back from this. This is oNiD Racing. This is the simrace247.com British GT4 Championship Round 4 from Oulton Park. You are watching oNiD Racing live here on Twitch, and you may be watching the replay on our YouTube channel as well. My name's Adam D, and I'll be bringing you the action tonight with Cammy Sturch. Say hello, Cammy.
Say hello, Cammy.
There we go. This is your team for tonight. As we come round the final corner, we'll stick on Helicam for now so that we can watch what's going on through the order, because we are waiting for the green light so we can get started for 45 minutes of GT4 action around a sunny Oulton Park with nothing but sun in the forecast. And there is the green light. Casey Gould must have been out of position, so picks up a drive through immediately. Ian Hall tries to go to the outside, but it's Shahabi holding the inside line, and the front four getting away pretty neatly together. Let's just check a little further down the field to see if there's any incidents. Everything looks pretty well behaved at the moment, so good job everyone, and we get racing at the front. That was a clean start, Cammy.
Yeah, I was almost thinking it's quiet. Too quiet for, you know, if I know some of these drivers, I'm thinking, how do they escape sort of knocking into the car in front or causing a little bit of carnage? But no, it's a clean getaway, and drivers who were here just the other week in the GT3 series, it'll be to their advantage, as they would have they've been a little bit more practiced around Oulton Park more recently, so that'll be sort of in their memory as well.
And for the first time tonight, Cammy, let me agree and say absolutely.
Now, Chris McCarthy said absolutely when...
Did he really?
He did, and it made me grin and think of you.
Good man, good man. You love to hear it. You love to hear it.
If he said it, I thought, well, I guess that means it's a perfectly fine thing to do then. Johnny was right. Sorry, Adam was right.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no.
Absolutely. Dan's
now,
had a moment and dropped himself down the order, I think.
I think he's had a moment with Van der Veen. That looked like a KTM. I wonder if we'd be able to see a replay. Now, Dan usually is the one taking care of all of our camera and lights, action, sound, everything like that.
Yeah, I probably tend to deliver slightly fewer replays than Dan does, especially at the beginning, whilst we just keep an eye on all of the fun stuff on track. So Shahabi is in the lead. We've got a couple of new follows as well, Big Smelly and somebody else. Sorry, I missed who the follow was just before you, Big Smelly. But thank you very much for the follows. As we see Marek Chittil get himself ahead of Willie Black on the exit of turn 1. But as they come down through Cascades, they stick pretty close together. So that's Chittil taking the lead in silver ahead of the series admin, Mr. William Black.
If he's the admin, is he allowed to say, like, you're not allowed to overtake me or I'll just ban your ass from the Discord server and everything?
Number one, Willie would use much worse language than that. But number two, it would be in such thick Irish that nobody would understand what he was saying and therefore ignore him anyway. Isn't that right, Johnny?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'll be sure it would be. I'll be sure. And Ryan Davies 92 says, can I get a hoya?
Hoya!
Hoya!
I don't know whether we said it right or not, but
karate like hoya.
Yeah, well, I'm doing no karate moves with this foot.
No, that's no. You still, how is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was back at the hospital on Friday, and the essential answer is that I'm not going to be driving for another 8 to 10 weeks, according to them. So yeah.
The track's loss is the commentary booth's gain.
Unfortunately, not just the track's loss; it's the motorways and roads of Great Britain's loss as well. So yeah, that kind of keeps me out of working at the moment.
Get on with it. Billy Munger doesn't complain.
Such is life. Well, no, exactly. But I'm not sure it's worth temporarily installing some kind of hand controls in my road vehicle.
A long stick to push the pedal with? No, that'd probably be unsafe. Ian Hall's
let's not go with long stick.
No, the Mr. Bean method.
Oh, right, I see. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Ian Hall's put in the fastest lap, although Alex Shahabi does seem to be slightly opening that gap from him. So I don't know if Ian Hall just had one good lap or has...
Well, Shahabi was actually ever so slightly faster than him on the last lap, but it must have been an invalidated lap.
That would make more... Yeah, that would make sense. So we've got Alex Shahabi is in the lead, followed by Ian Hall, Thorpe, Brown, Eckett, Jelinek, Selecki, Chaitel, Black, Jacques, Ashley, Hyde, Van der Veen, Anderson, Locker, Sarek, Gould, and Knox. That was also just a good occasion for me to just try and get everybody's names pronounced correctly, and if I got any of them wrong, somebody can correct me in the chat, can't they?
I think it was just Chittil. So yeah, it's Chittil rather than Chaitel, I think. Although now you've got me questioning whether it should be Chaitel. But nobody's corrected me so far for a Chittil, so we'll stick with that maybe. I don't know.
I'll be interested to see how far back Dan Hyde's fallen back from Johnny Ashley. Now he's 4.2 seconds behind. We'll have to see how that gap, whether that grows or shrinks, because he was sort of spun around a little bit by Van der Veen, wasn't he?
We believe so. Yeah, we didn't actually catch what happened. We just saw the sort of aftermath of it. So I don't know who was in front of who and who caused what, but I'm sure the instant panel will take a look at something if it needs reporting afterwards. But for now, Ian Hall has closed that gap ever so slightly, down to 0.8 of a second, and Dan Hyde is closing on Johnny Ashley. So
0.4 in that lap.
Yeah, but you see, you can't judge too much on a longer race where Johnny's concerned, because what's going to happen is Johnny's going to do the same lap time pretty much every lap until the end of this race. He will be Mr. Consistent.
That is what you need in simulation racing. Consistency is the key, and Dan being out on his own, sort of with a sizable gap in front and behind him, he'll be able to just focus and get on with putting in some good laps and not worrying about anybody going into the back of him. As we follow William Black in Team Johnny Crash Car. Somebody will have to explain that one to me. Is that like dog juice? There's a story behind it.
Just that he stole Johnny's old NASCAR livery. So just decided to call it Johnny Crash Car. As we see Dave Zalecki taking a trip over the grass. So poor old Dave came back from his honeymoon last week. Spent all week practicing in the Audi, and then jumped into the practice session and went, "Oh balls! I signed up in the Mercedes."
Oh, how do you do that?
I think he was a little bit in holiday mode when he signed up. So, but he did okay last week. Got a couple of decent results on his return to racing, but that trip across the grass won't have done him any favours, and he actually sits rock bottom in the pro class right now.
I guess, where do you want to be? At the bottom of the top league or sort of the top of the middle league?
I want to be at the top of the bottom league.
Top of the bottom league.
Yeah, if I go in the middle league, I ain't getting to the top.
It is amazing how fast the top drivers go, isn't it? When I was racing at Imola in the Lamborghini, I thought I was on the edge, and then it's like, how are these drivers pulling out another 2 seconds on me a lap? As we're looking from the back of William Black's car, looking back at Jacques in the Mercedes, he's having a look around. He's going to go around the outside and be on the inside, but no, he backs off, thinks better of it, because he knows he could sort of be pushed wide and into that barrier, but he's really hounding the back of that Camaro. And how true is the adage at the moment that American cars don't do corners very well?
Well, let's ask the man who's driving one. Johnny, how do they do with corners?
Not great around here. It feels a little bit like a tank, but they are used to only turning left, I suppose.
Rob Jacks is right on the back of your rival Willie Black, by the way. So,
well, if Rob could do me a favour and just give him a nudge into the grass at any point, that would be wonderful.
Yep, as you sound like you're having to wrestle that somewhat. Rob has dropped back off Willie a little bit. Do you want some good news, Cammy?
I'd love some good news.
Ducky Plays Games says, done and ordered those prints. There you go.
Oh, thank you. It's been a difficult month. Etsy's been a bit pain in the butt for a lot of sellers at the moment. They do this thing where they're going to hold on to your money, and I think it's done. They changed the algorithms. Yeah, and I lost like 80% of my normal sales, so it's actually been a bit painful.
Yeah,
but one day I'll have my own site, my own shop.
My partner sells on Etsy as well, and hers is being restricted at the moment.
So it's the exact same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it would appear that the only way to get around it is to buy your shipping labels through Etsy, and they charge like 3 times as much as Royal Mail if you do it directly. So not happening.
Sounds like a con, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, could get quite angrily passionate about that. So let's leave that aside. I'll rage about that later. As we check out the only Alpine in the series. Now, I don't see Alpines very often.
No, that's another beautiful sight of the GT4 series. Getting to see a nice Alpine, and this is Stefan Locker. Stefan, I was having a great chat with today about Formula E mods in Assetto Corsa and RF2 and all that kind of stuff. So Stefan obviously fancies trying something electric as well as something electric blue, like his Alpine is. See what I did there?
Yeah, Alpine's blue shouldn't be pink.
Where's Tom Stocks when you need him? Yeah. So Tom, bless him, was adminning the IndyCar series for me last night because I'm just way too hobbled to do anything useful these days. And before the race, Tom put in the chat, if anyone mentions the Alpine livery today, I'm going to scream. Because if you don't know, then Tom actually works for Alpine.
Oh, they must have, because Alpine, like Ferrari, are the pride of Italy. You know, Alpine and Renault are the pride of France. So seeing that red, white and blue car, or blue, white and red, it was absolutely gorgeous last year. And Dan Hyde's getting married later in the year, and I wanted some fashion advice from friends and didn't get a response from them. I asked Dan, and he said, you could model your outfit after like an F1 team, and that's the best fashion advice I've ever had.
Oh, please let it be McLaren.
What, just walk into the wedding with like a bright orange suit like Dumb and Dumber?
Papaya. It's papaya.
Papaya action. Leviosa.
In fact, there is a specific version of papaya as well, I think. But Ducky Plays Games says, I am one of the few that likes the pink-blue combo, but then again, I am weird. Do you know what? I actually like the blue-pink combos. We see Petr Jelinek getting it all wrong, and Dave Zalecki slips through. So Dave up a position. I actually like the blue-pink one that they're going to run for most of the season. So yeah, I don't mind it. I think what's his name? Sean Ball's done quite a good job with it.
Yeah, that's is it Sean Ball? I thought it was Chris Racer Designs.
No, it's Sean Ball that does the Alpine liveries. I'm sure that's right. I'm sure that's what Tom said. But once again, you've got me questioning myself.
Oh, now I've got to quickly look it up whilst you talk about something interesting.
There's something interesting.
I'm right. At Racer Designs, graphic designer for Alpine F1 team. Sean Ball, doesn't he do Red Bull? Sean Ball design. Oh, he's a graphic designer for Alpine F1 as well.
So, in brilliant news, we're both right.
Everyone's a winner. But that's not how it's going to turn out here. There's only going to be 3 winners, which will be the Pro winner, Silver winner, and the AM winner. At the moment, Alex Chahabi is in the lead, winning the Pro, and he's now 2.5 seconds in front of Ian Hall. Thorpe is 3.1 seconds back from Hall, and Brown is another 2.5 seconds behind Thorpe. So those gaps are opening up a little bit. But I'd say Eckett maybe in with a chance of getting past Ben Brown.
Eckett is getting closer and closer. It's just 4/10 the gap now. We were talking about the potential winners. Oh, as Ben Brown goes off. So Ben is off. He's rejoining, and there is major contact between the pair of them.
Oh no! Oh, that was a Ben Brown. What rejoin was that? Because it looked like he rejoined reasonably okay, but then the car just sort of leaned to the right.
So here we go. Here's the replay. So this is not live. This is a replay, and this is Grant Eckett we're looking at. Ben Brown just ahead of him. So watch Ben just. He took too much curb on the inside. And it's that big bump. It was that huge bump on the grass that launched him back onto the track into the side of Eckett.
Passenger himself and didn't have the car back under control when the tail end sort of slid out and took out Grant. And Grant came off worse there, arguably, because his bonnet just nose dived into the barrier. Oh, I feel really terrible for Grant Eckett. He's now down in 13th place. Ben Brown's in 10th place. That means Daniel Hyde has moved up to 9th. He'll be pleased about that. As long as he keeps his nose clean, he will be in with a top 10 finish.
So Bo Lambert's the legend that is actually seemingly watching multiple streams at the same time. And apparently Ben on his stream said, give me all the penalties for that. So Ben's obviously feeling pretty bad about that situation. So yeah, Grant, I think, will probably take his pit stop this lap around. And Johnny, I've noticed you've been in the pits early, so trying the old early dart strat.
Yeah, I don't usually go. I usually go quite late. But I thought with Dan catching quite quickly, I didn't want to get caught in a battle early doors and lose a lot of time. So
you mean you didn't want Dan trying to overtake you from behind?
I didn't say that.
No, I did.
But there was no point in battling and losing time. I thought I might as well just throw it in the pits and get some clean air and not have to worry about it in front and behind for a few laps.
Well, let's see what it does for you. Has it given you some clean air? Yeah, you have actually, haven't you? You're 18 seconds behind the next nearest car, so that's plenty of clear air for you.
Yeah, plenty.
Plenty indeed. We're about to see Petr Jelinek getting pretty close to the back of Dave Zielecki, who's having a bit of an up and down night so far. Reasonable qualifying, dropped down after an incident, gained a couple of positions back up, but now seemingly really struggling as they go through Deer Leap and across the strike once again. Jelinek taking a look up the inside into T1, which T1's Old Hall, is that correct?
Now, I'm not sure. He backed right off there, didn't he? Because Jelinek backed off thinking, I'll think better of it. But Zielecki was already way offline and took the corner very wide, so he could have actually made the overtake very neatly and tidily. But he's being very cautious drive, which is very good of him. Sort of corner 1, you were saying, Old Hall corner.
Yeah, I think it's Old Hall. I always get myself confused between here and Donington. Donington's Redgate though. Now, Rob Jacks has obviously had a situation because he has dropped down to 9th now. So Willie Black is back up into the lead of the silver class. Sorry, Johnny, didn't want to give you too much bad news, but Willie's back in the lead. Petr Jelinek is getting closer and closer to Dave Zielecki here. Dave looks like he's really, really struggling with that Merc right now.
I wonder why. It's almost as if he's been practicing in a different car.
Well, he's had all this week to practice in the right car, but that Merc is not normally a handful like that. The Merc, if anything, is normally too stable, as in it can be a bit of an understeery, but...
I've heard a lot of good things about it. Former teammates of mine, I know, use the AMG Merc GT4, so it must be a competitive car as much as people seem to love the BMW M4 at the moment. And you were saying about Jacques, that just means Dan Hyde's moved up into 8th position.
He has, and more importantly, into a podium slot in class. So after an early issue, Dan has picked that one up. Of course, he did pick up one position with Johnny's pit stop, so we'll see where Johnny feeds in later on in the race.
Zielecki went wide there at turn 1, and it looked like Petr Jelinek was so focused on his target that he actually made the same mistake, and they both missed the apex.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
It's a common problem in motorsport. It's called object fixation, and you're so fixated on the car in front. I've used this to my advantage at times. If somebody's following me, I will sort of outbrake myself more than I need to, knowing that if they're reacting to my inputs, they will brake a tiny bit later than me and will end up in the gravel.
You absolute arse.
It's a legitimate tactic.
I mean, I'm saying that you're an arse, but I'm literally stealing that for when I come back racing anyway.
You are in awe of my genius.
Yeah, although the problem is nobody's going to believe that I've outbraked myself on purpose, given that I can't actually brake on purpose at the correct point ever. So anyway, people will just think it's me being a muppet.
I do hate being followed. I do get the anxiety that someone's going to run into the back of me, and sometimes I will just let them past just to follow them and take them back.
Yes, yeah, it's so much easier to follow than it is to lead. I think it's the same for anyone really. Always going to be easier to follow. And Petr Jelinek is in that kind of easy following position right now.
So they've both got the apex. They both got the apex this time.
Yeah, and Dave actually, I think, used a little bit more of the runoff, so that certainly didn't harm him. But he's run a bit wide into Cascades.
Yeah, so that Audi really made up some ground there, didn't it?
It did, and Jelinek stays right in his toe as they come down towards the Shell Oil's hairpin, which is where they are now, and the gap is down to under 0.3 of a second.
So this is the closest battle on track, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's an interesting chat going on in chat, obviously. Oh, hang on. No, I've just yeah. I almost picked up on just the first comment. But I needed to scroll back a little bit to start the conversation, where Ducky said, "I love this track so much." Bo replied, "It's nice and tight. It's amazing, but I love all the British tracks." Donny, yes. Oulton, yes. Snet, pass for now, says Ducky. Snet, famous for its penis-shaped outline. And Bo says that his favourite is Zolder. So, Cammy, what's your favourite track in the world to drive?
In the world?
In the world.
Oh, that is a tough one. I have been a big fan recently of Road Atlanta and Watkins Glen. I
say that. Say the second one again 2 more times.
Sorry.
Watkins
Glen.
Okay, give it a few minutes, and we might just see Derek Stack pop up into the chat. He's basically
like saying Bloody Mary into a mirror. If I say Watkins Glen 3 times into a mirror, Derek Stack's going to appear.
Yeah, it's like if you say Beetlejuice 3 times, he turns up. It's
Biggie
exactly
Smalls.
the same thing. So if D Stack now pops up and goes, "Hello, what?" and that'll be incredible.
I haven't raced at Zolder, but the exciting thing for me this year is I will get to drive an electric Formula 4 car, essentially, around Zolder.
Wow.
With the ERA Championship. They want somebody from esports to try out their car. So, yeah, as we've got Daniel Hyde is defending at the moment from Jax. He's keeping him at bay.
You make Rob's name sound so much posher than I do. For me, that's just Rob Jax, because he's a big brutish American.
I've been doing it in the Jacques Villeneuve.
And do you know what? He would love you for that. So you carry on with that, and I'll just keep calling him a big brute.
Robert Jacques.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it, Johnny? Him being all posh and fancy.
Absolutely not. He's far from it.
Rob Jax.
Takes one to know one, Johnny.
Now, what is Dan Hyde like at defending? He's going to come under a lot of pressure because, you know, that McLaren is quick. They're in the same class as well, so it will be for position. I wonder if they're going to be caught up at all by Dave Zalecki, or whether they will make their pit stop before Zalecki gets a chance to catch them up.
Yeah, and Zalecki has dropped down into that position because he has taken his stop. So once again, if any of you guys are new to watching anything ACC related with us here, there is a mandatory pit stop tonight. Pit window's open for another 14 minutes, and you'll know whether the driver has taken their stop or not as we see Rob dive to the pit lane now, because that orange box that says 1 in it on the timing tower will go green once they've taken their mandatory stop. So there you go.
See, I'm just watching Dan, and he drove me around Silverstone in his BMW car, and he hit the apexes. But now in a virtual setting, he seems to be missing the apexes. Come on, Dan, you know how to do it. You've shown me you can do it.
Alex Shahabi is 4 seconds clear of the field now, and have you noticed who he is about to put a lap on?
Would that be Ben Brown, who I put forward for possibly winning this race? But I think it will be now.
It would, now, although Ben getting himself past Hakan Andersen. I think Hakan doing the sensible thing, recognising that Ben's quicker, in a different class. Let him go and let Ben get on with it. But yeah, Ben's having a tough night. Now the question is he going to find such a nice customer in the next car that he comes up to, which is Johnny Ashley.
Johnny Ashley, Ben Brown is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that?
Absolutely fucking not.
Alex Shahabi dived into the pit lane though before he got a chance to catch Ben Brown up. So I think Alex Shahabi has got this race in the bag. It would, it's going to have to be a back marker or just some horrid internet connection, bad luck that would spoil it now.
Anything could happen. Yeah. Oh, that was a squeak from Johnny. What happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, he understood those team orders. He understood what I said. So he's let Jacques go past. So
no, it was Ben Brown. He's let.
Oh, sorry. He's let Ben Brown go by. Yeah. So yeah, Jacques is Jack is ahead. A little bit of weaving there from Johnny Ashley. Is that just talk us through that, Johnny? You were weaving a bit there.
I'm having a few problems with the car at the minute, to be honest. I don't know what's happened since my pit stop. It feels really loose and yeah, I've had a few really untidy laps, which is not like me really.
No, you're usually really good, and you don't make so.
But you've got a chance here to have a go at Rob. So let's see what you can do here. But with Hakan Andersen bearing down as well. So this is now our biggest battle on track. We've got Rob Jacks, Johnny Ashley and Hakan Andersen all together, all in the same class. It's the McLaren, the big beastly NASCAR Chevrolet, and then Hakan Andersen in the Porker right behind him. So we'll stick with this and see how these three get on together. Rob just maybe getting away a little bit through the last corner and through the first corner. Now, here's the shocking moment of the night. I cannot believe what my eyes are telling me, because at this moment in time, the race leader is William Black.
Well, he's going to have to pit soon. He's got 10 minutes to do it, and we'll have to sort of figure out where that will drop him down to. But yeah, he'll be enjoying the sensation, I'm sure, and he'll be able to say now that I've led a GT4 race.
I'm sure he won't fail to let us not know that at some point. Of that, I am certain.
No, it's like I let people know that I beat Jenson Button. He crashed out the race, but
now talking of out of the race, we seem to have lost Heike van der Veen again. So
you've lost him.
Yeah.
Where did you see him last?
Unfortunately, if you see in the chat, unfortunately, Heike has departed us this evening.
That sounds quite morbid.
Well, it's not far off it if you read his chat. Heike, it's all good, my friend. It's all good. We will get you back. As we see.
Anderson going for a move there and neatly done through Dearly, but over the line. Didn't look like Johnny, but Johnny is coming back. Is he still? Whoa, a little bit of door banging. This is why we love GT cars as opposed to open wheel cars. They don't flip over the moment they sort of look at each other. But Hakan Andersen's got the place now. Can Johnny actually do anything about it?
Johnny, can he do anything about it? All right, okay, there you go. There was a no.
The car, it does look twitchy. We can see you're sort of having to wrestle that car around. It does look a bit unstable and a bit twitchy, and there's 16 minutes left to go. You can hang on.
You can.
I am hanging on.
For dear life. Yeah, somehow Willie has decided to run as long as he can and still leads this race. It'll be interesting to see where Casey Gould fits into all of this, because he has run long as well. And
he started at the back, didn't he?
Exactly. Brutus 169. You the man for the follow. Thank you for that. Great to have you along watching us here at oNiD. Yeah. Oh, Jimbo Mancy. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Went up an octave there.
I did. That's the only octave I've got. But when Jimbo arrives, we all go up an octave. Jimbo, I hope you are feeling a little better this evening, sir, than you were earlier.
I just want to say as well, thank you to those out there who have bought prints. I haven't been able to look, but my phone has been lighting up, so that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Very good. I'm pleased to hear that. And now, if any of you want to now go and spend your money on sim-stuff.com as well, then feel free. You can get your oNiD merchandise or your button boxes or anything like that will put some money my way.
I am overdue for a button box.
Oh, custom job?
I don't know. I do like the ones that have that big engine start button on them, you know?
That can be done. That can be done. And Johnny got himself a custom box arrived this week, and very sweet it looks. I hope that Johnny's not going to blame the button box for his somewhat off-colour performance this evening, though.
Oh, looks like we've got a great battle here between Eric Zarek and Locker in the Alpine. They're side by side.
Oh, a little nudge as well as they head down to Cascades. That was always going to end in tears.
Oh no.
Locker off, but Zarek has waited. But be careful, that's the leader coming through, guys. That is the leader there. And that must have been a tricky moment. Alex Shahabi.
The camera angle wasn't the best to see the width of the track, but seeing it from Alex Shahabi's view, you know, it was wonderful sportsmanship to see him slow down to, you know, acknowledge, sorry I caused that, and slow down, and it was quite adorable. But yeah, we'll see from Alex Shahabi's view like how difficult it got, because he sees it up ahead. Oh yeah, he had to second guess. It wasn't too last minute, but he had to sort of second guess where they were going to go. But thankfully, I think they were at sort of such low speeds in the middle of the corner that any impact would have just been a little fender bender rather than sort of engine damaged.
Yeah, that was scary enough for our race leader, though. We are on board with our race leader at this moment in time, so you can see how the quick. Well, I say our race leader, our de facto race leader. Once you take the hacking Willie Black out of the mix. Couple of questions in the chat. So first of all, Brutus169 says, good evening, gentlemen's. Well, good evening, gentlemen's plus Cammy.
It's okay.
And then we got there was something else. I'm sure somebody said that they're looking forward to the Enduros start on Friday. Jimbo says, can Cammy's button box have her slogan on it? Somebody date me.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I was almost offended, and I was like, oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you really did.
I thought he was going to say the slogan, go for the gap, and I was all ready to go, yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, it's
date me.
It's very easy for me to add a go for the gap logo onto a button box. It's all custom jobs here, as Willie Black takes the pits.
So Alex Shahabi retakes the lead that was his anyway, as he was the de facto leader. That will bring. How far back will Willie Black go? Well,
he's dropped behind Casey Gould, but Casey Gould hasn't pitted yet. So Gould now leads silver, Shahabi leads by a good 5 seconds now. Chittle and Jelinek, I think, getting pretty close together. Yep, there they are. Just to answer Ryan Davies's questions, that is possible. That is possible. Drop me a line through Discord, and that is possible, possibly.
What's that, for him to date me?
Well, maybe. No, he was asking about whether I do faceplates for Stream Decks. And it is distinctly possible. I'm also currently working on a Stream Deck alternative product as well.
Oh, because my problem, which I'm sure other people are going to be in the situation, I have one of those fold-out playseat challenge rigs.
Yes.
Because of limited space, I can't use my big track racer one. So I'm in the fold-out one, and I think, well, how would I attach a button box to that? Where would I put a button box? And I sort of need, some attachment that would grab the sort of the tubular steel with an arm with something that I, can grip the box. So, my button box would have to be on an arm or something attached to the steel.
Oh, Cammy, this isn't good. You've got me thinking now, and yeah. You've given me food for thought. You've given me food for thought. But yeah, so loads of you in chat tonight as well.
Whoa, Stefan Locker, he's ran wide. We saw this so much in the wet in GT3, and he's going round. He's just not. It looked like one of those accidents. There's that YouTube channel where you see people have accidents at the Nordschleife.
Yes.
It just looked like one of those where the accident just didn't. It just wouldn't end.
Yeah.
The more he tried to hold it, the more it just slightly lost it more and more. And you thought, no, if I keep holding it on, it will. At some point, the car will come back to me. But no, it just pirouetted round as we return to Daniel Hyde with Casual Apex Racing. He's in 9th place now, car number 2. I've never seen him in 2nd place actually, but car number 2, nonetheless, in the Ginetta is still in the top 10, and he'll possibly go past Casey Gould once they make their pit stop.
Yeah, but right now he's got Ben Brown closing him down at the rate of knots.
I think it would be wise for Dan to just let Ben go. They're not in the same class, and as you see, Ben just made up several meters. Oh, they made a mistake then slightly, but he did make up a lot of ground, just braking later and harder than Dan. And if Dan starts to defend too much, that'll just bring Rob Jux back into it.
Ben was literally trying to chew every single tiny piece of curb there. Oh, and again, yeah, he wants it. Oh, as Dan drops it.
Oh, no!
Dan into the wall.
With 9 minutes to go. Oh, commentator's curse. He's going to be hating watching this back because he'll be hoping nobody saw that. The car doesn't look too damaged.
Anderson now gives him a punt from the rear, and Dan saves it. Well held, that man. Oh, but there's then contact with Anderson as Anderson tries to go around the outside.
I feel, he's flashing his lights. I feel like that was a revenge tap because it was like, hang on, you knocked me round and then you just drove past as if nothing happened. Give me the place back.
Yeah,
and I think he's quite right to be, requesting that. He's saying, come on, just back off and let me go past. That would be the sportsmanlike thing to do. And yeah, I'm in full agreement with Dan here.
Well, it's always tricky, isn't it? Because I'm sure Hakam will have a very different view on it as Casey Gould finally takes to the pits. But yeah, I can certainly see why Dan was a bit miffed.
Well, they're both 12 seconds behind the next car, so it's not like he's going to lose another place. If he just lets Dan quickly go past, he's got another 8 minutes to then make the pass legitimately.
Definitely. Wow, I tell you what, the chat is absolutely blowing up tonight, so thank you guys for being involved. Hiker, that sounds like a good idea. Go and have yourself a walk, sir, and we'll be here when you get back. Yeah, there's loads of you in chat tonight. Absolutely superb to see. Thank you very much for watching your racing with oNiD. oNiD, the home of more than 1,000 members now. Oh yes.
Wow, that's the Discord? How many are in the Discord? Or
Yep, we've sailed past 1,000 now, and it keeps on going. So yeah, we had a bit of a moment last week where we hit the 1,000, and Stefan Locker is round again, unfortunately. So let's just see what happened. Oh, he just dropped it through turn 1. We only caught the back end of that on the replay there.
Wasn't touched there by the Audi.
It's yeah, he was battling with Heisenberg Knox just before that.
Did Heisenberg knock into Locker?
Well, it's possible. It's possible. We're going to go join the battle between Black and Jelinek, though. See if I can get there quick enough, because those two, I think, are joined together now. Yeah, there's Willie Black running a bit deep, and the Audi of Petr Jelinek right behind him.
Mikael1234 in the chat just says Simp Nation. So he's going to have to put that in some context for us. I know what simping is, but I'm just wondering Are we simping after one particular driver? I hadn't noticed that we are.
I don't know what simping is.
What's happened to Dan Hyde, by the way, guys?
He had an off after being pressured by Ben Brown, and then he got punted by Hakan Anderson, who then Dan was very annoyed at because Anderson wouldn't just give the place back. Oh, Dan's just gone off the listings.
Yeah, he was stopped at the edge of the track.
So we may have lost Dan then, by the looks of it. So that's our second driver we've lost this evening. Hopefully there's not any technical issues for Dan or anything like that. I'm sure he wouldn't have rage quitted from us.
No, he would have finished the race and just looked at getting that position sort of overturned or something with a steward's decision post-race. But Johnny, did you see him pulled over to the side of the track?
He was off the racing line down the first straight, and just stop brakes are on.
I wonder if there was a in-home emergency or something. Sorry, we've distracted you there, Johnny. That's our apologies. We've distracted you and you've out-braked yourself. But
no, that's Johnny's line through that corner.
Yeah, I'm calling me tyres off.
Rallycross.
I know what you're referring to there. Did it work?
No.
Oh, okay. Cammy, I'll tell you later.
I've got so much to learn. Like now it's this and learning about dog juice.
Dog Juice was here earlier in the chat. Dog Juice, if you're there, Cammy still needs to know why you called Dog Juice.
I do. It sounds so grim.
Yeah. Some more of you chatting away there. So what was it? Yeah. Oh, Bo was saying he loves the streams every time. It's at least something different, and my English gets a bit better this way. Well, what I would say is, please don't try and learn English from me.
Or me.
Especially from Johnny. No, that's a really good point, actually. Jelinek is getting closer and closer to the back of William Black. But those two are in different classes, so I'm surprised that Willie hasn't just let him go, as Willie gets very sideways through Lodge, and now he does let him go. So Jelinek will move up into fifth.
Well, who's that on the back of Willie Black's car? There's a little picture of somebody on the...
Johnny might be able to answer that. Johnny, whose picture is there on the back of Willie's car?
Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights.
Ah, is Talladega Nights one where they say, if you ain't first, you're last?
Yep.
Yep. I don't think I've seen that one, but I have seen Days of Thunder. I got forced to watch that.
Days of Thunder is legendary. See, I told you it was Johnny's line. He's done it again.
He's papped the hood.
Oh, dear.
That's not
and that's Johnny Ashley hard into the barriers. As they would say in NASCAR.
Yeah.
With that big American accent.
And unfortunately, by the time he's recovered that one, he's not going to be first, and he may well be last.
It doesn't look like the car's moving. It can't get up the hill.
I think he was just letting. Alex get safely by it, because our leader is through. Probably only 2 or 3 laps left to go in this one.
I feel like I could get a good result here just by virtue of not crashing.
Yes. Although Oulton Park
not disconnecting.
Yeah, although Oulton Park is tricky to avoid the old incident.
I've had one race at Oulton Park, and it was a learning experience, especially the little chicane that Alex Shahabi's coming up to.
Willie Black has got himself back ahead of Petr Jelinek, so I can only assume that Jelinek has had himself a moment. And Willie's got that past, because the only reason I say that is that I'm not doubting Willie's ability to get past Jelinek, but Willie wouldn't have battled for that position because they're in different classes, and that would be against Willie's no-class racing religion. I think he will probably let Petr go again when he comes up close to him again, but he's got to be careful because Marek Chittil is not far behind. And that is who he's battling with.
Yeah, he's making ground up all the time, isn't he? As what Jelinek is stuck behind Black, he's just slowly gaining, but he's only got a minute left to go. So I think it would really have to take a miscommunication between Black and Jelinek to sort of bring them to a sort of complete stop for a moment, almost for Chittle to get close enough to make the overtake.
Yep. Dog Juice is here in the chat, by the way, but he says that Cammy's ears are not ready yet for the story. So
it's like I'm an innocent, delicate flower.
Yes.
Yeah, she can't possibly be told about the story of Dog Juice.
It would appear that Dog Juice is thinking that is the situation. I didn't really know what to say there, so
he doesn't know me very well.
Big follow from Marino87. I'm assuming that's not Jose. I'm sure he's got better things to do, but Marino87, welcome to the world of oNiD on Twitch. But Marino is here obviously for Robert Jacques.
He says he's a delicate, innocent flower, is he?
Ducky plays games with the follow as well. You should have done that earlier. You've been with us all stream. But anyway, thank you for it now. Mercy Caller saying, how's it going? Well, your friend Johnny Ashley is having an absolute banger of a night, aren't you, Johnny?
Oh, it's been a mare, mate. Absolutely mare.
Let's follow Alex Shahabi because we are out of time. So this will be the last lap. So it'd be nice to catch him going over the lines. The last pre-race I did, we missed it.
He's just going up Clay Hill now, and now in towards Druids. So into the last couple of corners, and for once, Adam D has got a prediction correct. I said that it felt like a Shahabi night, and it has been a Shahabi night, not just a little bit, but by absolute dominance. He's more than 9 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Alex Shahabi for Regal Racing comes home to take the win in round 4 here at Oulton Park. Ian Hall is next up, and here he comes, second place for the Pinky 87 simulation car, number 87.
Ian Hall in the lead of the championship, actually, because Ben Brown's had a horrid HOD race today, so Ben Brown, who's leading the championship, won't be picking up as many points as he would have liked, as we see Andy Thorpe collect the last podium position for the Pro class. So now it'd be time to jump to our Silver class leader, William Black. 6th overall at the moment. This is Dave Selecki. He'll be coming over the line for a handy 4th place.
But here is Willie Black. So Willie has let Jelinek go once again, but has stayed a good 2.5 clear of Chittle. So no mistakes from Willie through Lodge and down through Deerleap, and Willie Black takes the win in silver with a little weave and a wobble across the line in that NASCAR machine. So just goes to show that thing can be quick round here, Johnny. I'm going to get punched.
Your silence.
I'm going to get punched in the face in a minute by Johnny, I think.
Rob Jacques, our innocent, delicate flower, has finished 3rd in the silver class. Serik takes the win in the AM class with Heisenberg, Knox, and Locker 3rd, despite his many spins.
Indeed. Just the one car yet to finish, which is Grant Eckett in a rather second-hand looking McLaren. Here he comes over the line, and that is us done. Now, I'm going to see if we can call Alex to the comms booth.
Okay, then you do that.
I don't know why I've just written Alex, I will grab you. That sounds yeah, it's because
that sounds ominous.
Yeah, the reason I was getting myself confused and all in it is, and the reason why Johnny didn't reply is he's not here anymore. But I am going to try and pull Alex Shahabi into this chat. That's the issue, you see, is we are in a hidden comms booth tonight. So let me see if I can find Alex and pull him in here.
Johnny's gone straight into the admin and accident voice chat, so that's where he belongs at the moment. He's just like, yeah, that's me. Incident.
Move to balls. I can't do it very easily. Right, I don't think we're going to very easily get Alex Shahabi tonight, so
See, my instinct when I had a good race was just to jump to the comms booth because I wanted to talk about my race.
Yeah,
I'm just a racing narcissist.
The problem is this is a very hidden comms booth. This one. So I tell you what we'll do is. So you're part of the main oNiD community racing Discord as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you head into that one and switch yourself to
GT4 chat.
Why is there no comms pod here? Go to the GT3 World Series comms pod, and we'll see if we can get Alex in there.
Okie dokie.
So I'm heading there, and Cammy will come join us very shortly. So Alex, if you can hear us, come join us in the GT3 World Series comms pod. There he is.
There he is.
And Cammy's here as well. Excellent. We're all here. So thank you for bearing with us whilst we sorted out how to do that. Alex, what absolute domination tonight.
Yeah. Just happy to have a race without a drive-through in it, to be honest.
That's true. You have become a little bit of drive-through Dave just lately, haven't you?
I know. Well, I picked up 2 warnings on the first 2 laps. I just thought to myself, oh, here we go again.
Oh, no. And it's actually pretty easy to pick up a drive-through at Oulton Park as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mainly on the exit of the first corner. If you go out too wide, even if you lift off, it gives you a warning. And I picked up basically both of them on that corner. So from then on, I just backed off a little bit, tried not to take it as quick, which I could see Ian was closing up every time we went through that section of track, but luckily through the second sector I'd managed to pull back the gap each time. So
do you find yourself a bit of a Oulton Park specialist, or is the car particularly good here tonight?
Yeah, I'll say you should have more races here. I seem to be doing decent at Oulton, but yeah, luckily we'd me, Martin, and Nick last year had done a 6-hour race in this car here, so I'd already had a setup to base from, so that helped a lot tonight.
Oh, absolute domination tonight. What a shame for you that you missed the first 2 races of the season, because it make it tricky to get right back on terms. But Ben had a difficult night tonight, so a little glimmer of hope there.
Yeah, I did notice, because after he'd done his pit, I was almost right behind him. So I did wonder what had happened to him.
Ran wide, spun back onto track into another car. Not pretty. Yeah, I think Ben's pretty annoyed with himself this evening for that. But he just caught an awful bump that launched the car back onto the track. But such is life. Cammy, any questions for our winner?
No, I mean, he didn't really put a foot wrong. I mean, was there anything that we maybe didn't see? It didn't look like any back markers held you up. There was that point when 2 back markers sort of tripped over each other during the turn 3, wasn't it, at the Cascades? And then sort of talk us through that, because you sort of had to double sort of second guess where they were going to be so you could weave your way through.
A lot of poo came out, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I did think to myself, oh my god. But yeah, luckily I managed to squeeze through a gap between them. But yeah, apart from that, it was a pretty smooth race.
Because that happened just after we had said, well, it looks like Alex has got this race in the bag. The only thing, it would take an internet disconnect or a rogue back marker now to ruin Alex's race. And just after I'd said that, those 2 were sort of, one had taken the other off, but then they'd been very kind and stopped because I've taken you off the track. I don't want to just drive on. I'll let you come back on and I won't take your place, which is very good sportsmanship of them. But then they rejoined the track and sort of crossed to the other side to get off the racing line. So I can see why they did it. But yeah, if you'd read that wrong, you would have been in the back of them.
Yeah, well, you almost gave me the commentator's curse there. Very close.
Not my fault. Not my fault. It was all Cammy, that one. Yeah. But look, we'll let you go and, well, frankly, clean yourself up based on what you've just said. But yeah, great race for you tonight, and more of the same next week. Do you think?
Is it next week Snetterton, isn't it?
Yes, round 5 Snetterton, 2 25-minute races on the penis-shaped track.
I've actually never driven Snetterton in a GT4, so I don't actually know how it's going to go, if I'm honest.
What world is Snetterton shaped like a...
It definitely is.
That's
If you have the
go see
short
a
track.
doctor. Go see a doctor.
I didn't say it was shaped like mine, but anyway, let's not dive into that too deeply. Yeah, Alex, it is Snetterton next week. Are you preferring the longer races or the shorter races, or does it really not make any difference to somebody like you?
I quite enjoy the mix up of the both. To be fair, it kind of breaks up different types of strategy each week, if you know what I mean.
Yep, certainly does. Right, well, we will see you next week at Snetterton, and no doubt we'll see you before then. GT3 World Series on Sunday, I assume.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Right, well, thank you, Alex. We'll let you go clean yourself
Cheers,
up
guys.
and all that kind of stuff.
Cheers, lads.
Cammy, it's I just really want to get from you your first impression of watching some GT4 racing with us.
Yeah, it's quite action-packed, isn't it? I don't know if that's just because of people going off the track more, or do GT4 cars have a lower amount of driver aids, maybe? In terms of traction control, stability, ABS.
No, they don't. I wonder how much of it is related to it being Oulton Park as well. I mean, last week we were at Donington, and it was a very clean, straightforward race. Silverstone the week before that as well. So I think Oulton Park is one of those tricky places to race anyway. But these cars provide some great action. And it's been a pleasure once again to watch the GT4 guys go around and around. Ryan asking, is there plans for a GT3 British series? So we have done at some point in the past, but the new GT3 series is due to be announced anytime soon. It's already been announced to our Patreons. So, if you ever want to get yourself in early on seeing what's going on in oNiD, then I'd suggest a little join of the Patreon program. But for everyone else, the new GT3 League will be announced really, really soon. And it is tremendously exciting. And that will be the follow-up to the World Series. So Sundays is always GT3. Tuesdays is always GT4. Monday nights is always Assetto Corsa. And we've got starting, I think maybe tomorrow with evaluation races, there is some stuff on Race Room. Thursday nights is our rookies night as well. So I will be back on Thursday night with another stream with Johnny alongside me for the rookies, which has just been epic fun all season. And then
I've got a petition for a Circuit Superstars night with oNiD Racing.
Do you know what? I haven't tried Circuit Superstars yet, and I think I need to. And I would personally be up for that. We love a bit of a social event here and there, and yeah, we will have the opportunity to mix things up.
It's a great wind down game for sim racers. It's light-hearted and fun, but at the same time, there's tyre where you have to still take the right racing line. So it's sort of a halfway house between sim racing and Mario Kart.
Yeah, which I think is probably along the same lines as Art of Rally that I mentioned to you earlier. If you like Circuit Superstars, go try Art of Rally. It's great fun. Because I'm just enjoying stuff that I can do on the pad at the moment, seeing as I can't sit in the rig.
Pick up these indie developers.
Exactly. Or should I say, absolutely. But
what a way to sign off.
Exactly. We are coming towards the end. Brian, thank you for the words. I will be with you on Thursday night. So no stream tomorrow night, but we are streaming again Thursday night from 7:45, bringing you the Rookies Championship live here on oNiD, and you can always watch our streams again on our YouTube channel as well. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go and do so right now. Princess JT, I'm sorry I missed that you were here this evening. I'm sure you've said hello, so sorry that I missed you, but thank you for being here as always. We'll be back Thursday night. Cammy, thank you so much for stepping in tonight.
Very welcome. I look forward to doing it again.
And you will be here on Sunday night for the World Series, I assume?
Yes, I should be. Yep, I've got to be somewhere on Sunday, but I plan to be home in time for that.
And I don't know if you knew this, but there's no Dan Hyde this Sunday.
Oh, well, I'll definitely have to do it then.
Well, who has signed up to do the cameras on Sunday night?
Is it you?
It is me, so I'll be back on Sunday night.
You did a great job today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it'll be good to be back on air with you on Sunday night. So thank you very much. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Everyone, thank you for watching us here at oNiD. We will leave you with all of the information about the GT4 series and, of course, a little advert from SimStuff. But it remains to be said, you have been watching the SimRace247.com British GT4 series with our league partners simracing.gp, pitwall.live, Caden Computers, sim-stuff.com, and of course simrace247.com's partner HyperX. I've been Adam D. She's been Cammy Sturch.
Yep, I have been.
She has. It's true. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks.
See you. Good night.